It's your wedding day. There's a million things to think about and to do, and you really want to focus on yourself and your couple and just really have a special day. So hiring a company like us or other rental companies is advantageous because we handle everything. Like, we handle the delivery, we handle the cleaning, we handle the pickup. All you have to do is focus on enjoying your day.
Hi, I'm John from PGP Wedding Films, and welcome to Say Yes to the Best, where we talk to the best wedding pros to give you wedding planning advice. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new content out all the time to help you with your wedding planning. And today I'm with Nicole and Michael of Lovely Lux Rentals. How you doing, guys?
We're great.
Doing well, John. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being on the show. Could you tell our audience a little bit about your rental company?
We're Lovely Lux Rentals. We provide tabletop rentals primarily for weddings and other events. That can be things like baby showers, bridal showers. It can be weddings. It can be anniversary parties, anything really. It runs the gamut from charger plates, dinnerware, flatware, glassware, dessert display items. And then we have some larger items like bar carts and that kind of thing.
So with all of the awesome items that you guys can provide for couples, what should a couple do if they know they want really awesome decor at their wedding, but they're not quite sure how to go about it? Where should they start?
Well, a good way is to start just browsing Instagram, browsing our website. It'll give you an idea of designs, styles, that type of thing. And then a couple can reach out for a consultation and we'll kind of talk them through all of these things. So get an idea of what their vision is for their day and kind of understand their personality and who they are as a couple. And that shapes what their wedding should look like. So then once we get an idea of, what they're going for and what their event, like the ins and outs of their event, we can give the best advice as far as what kind of rentals they'll need for their event. And what styles will fit their ideas best.
So how can working with a rental company help a couple in their decision-making process and in their wedding planning?
Well, I think something we see really often is when you're planning your wedding, you have this idea of what you want things to look like, but you don't exactly know how to achieve that look. So we see Pinterest and we see Instagram and we see wedding magazines or whatever it may be. But you don't know exactly like what the details are that go into achieving that look and planning that. And that's something that obviously we have a lot of experience with. So if you tell us the general vibe that you're going for, or what you feel or what you want your guests to feel, or even like the little aspects of the day that are the most important to you, having a signature cocktail or something like that, we're able to then take your like big picture and turn it into the logistics of how do we get those feelings across or that design across, or how do we incorporate those colors, that type of thing, like practically into your day.
And to add on that, it's your wedding day. There's a million things to think about and to do, and you really want to focus on yourself and your couple and just really have a special day. So hiring a company like us or other rental companies is advantageous because we handle everything. Like, we handle the delivery, we handle the cleaning, we handle the pickup. All you have to do is focus on enjoying your day.
What is something that most couples don't know in choosing their decor or even getting their decor at their wedding location on the day of?
I think sometimes people might like look at a picture or something of a beautiful wedding and say like, oh, there's no way I could have that. That's unattainable. Or that's like, a dream wedding. That's not for me. And we have things for all budgets, really. Like, we can work with any kind of wedding, any style, any budget, etc. So by talking to a professional, they can kind of walk you through your ideas and see how that might work or how you can adjust things to fit your venue or your design or your budget. And I think sometimes people might put their budgets in the wrong place. Like, maybe they don't, there are certain things about a wedding. I feel like when you are first planning, you think like, I want everything, right? And then you realize you can't really have everything. So you have to kind of pick and choose. And things like your guests sit at the table for a sit down dinner for a really large portion of the wedding. And so having these beautiful things on the table can add so much to your design and so much to the overall feeling of the wedding, making it feel really upscale or expressing your personality through things like a charger plate or the design of the tabletop.
For me, I'm not a dancer. So when I'm actually a guest at a wedding and not filming, I'm at the table like the entire time. So yeah, make it look nice for no one else than for me.
Exactly.
One thing I think a lot of couples think about is do-it-yourself options. Are there any good do-it-yourself options that couples should consider? And what are also some of the pitfalls of the do-it-yourself DIY ideas when it comes to decor?
DIY is tricky. There's a lot of things like we see, we're like, oh, that's easy, I could do that. But usually when you see these images on the internet, they're not amateurs putting those images together. It's a group of professionals who have put a lot of time and effort into curating that beautiful image. And I think it's best to leave it to the professionals to put these things together. You may be disappointed with the outcome if you don't have a professional take care of things for your wedding day. And that's the last thing you want, right? Like your wedding day, you don't want to be stressed. You don't want to find out, oh, I left my centerpiece to Aunt Sally and she wasn't as great as I thought she was going to be. Or, Uncle Tommy said he has a camera and he could shoot my photos. Like he's not as great as you thought he was going to be. And the same thing goes for your rentals too. I mean, you certainly can, go here or there and try and source things by yourself, but this is what we do for a living. And I can promise you that it'll turn out exactly how you want it to, and probably even exceed your expectations if you allow a professional to design these things and put them together. You can find ways to compromise. It might be, if you do an escort card display or some kind of welcome display with custom cocktails, and you might have the idea yourself of what kind of cocktail you want to do. And you can come up with the name or the ingredients for the cocktail, but leave it to a professional to actually set up the display, choose the glassware, set up the details and signage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it has nothing to do with weddings, but I was getting my kids to try to draw animals, and that ended up turning into me drawing the animals. And watching a YouTube video on how to draw a shark, it looks easy, but then I look at my final product, and there's a reason I make films and not draw sharks for a living. So yeah, the professionals make it look easy, but it's not. There's a lot of time and effort to learn how to make things look the way they look.
And that's kind of our job, right? If you're a professional, it's your job to make it look effortless. And because we've done it for so long, we have the experience. When you're paying any wedding vendor, you're not only paying them for the time or the materials that go into the stuff just for your wedding day. You're paying them for all the time it took them to learn that craft and how to do that and how to make it look effortless.
What is the biggest mistake you see couples make in regards to their decor?
I think the biggest mistake we see when it comes to couples and their decor is they wait until the last minute or they wait too late to book. And, we live in Pennsylvania. June and September are very hot wedding seasons. And if you're going to wait until April or May to reach out to a rental business, chances are most of their inventory is going to be bookmarked for your weekend. So honestly, the sooner the better. It might sound crazy, but 18 to 12 months out is not crazy to reach out, have your initial phone consultation, and start the planning process.
And that goes for any vendor, really. I mean, it's never too soon to reach out and at least start getting information or getting on their radar. And I think couples see that generally for their venue and their photographer. They might book right away and then kind of leave a lot of the other details until later. And like Mike said, you don't want to do that, especially for rentals, because rental companies have a finite number of each item in their inventory. And so once they're rented, they're rented.
If you could give every couple just one piece of advice for their wedding planning, what would it be?
It's a good one. I think my advice would be just be true to yourself. I don't think you have to listen to what, Instagram says your wedding day should look like, or what your parents say that your wedding day should look like. It should be about you and your style and your personality. And so any type of decor is integral to expressing your personality through the wedding day. Your guests come in the beginning and they are walked through multiple hours of decor and of the choices that you've made as a couple for your wedding day. So you really want them to reflect who you are. What do you think?
Yeah, I would second that. I would say sit down with your significant other and draw up a game plan of what you want your wedding day to look like, and do your best to achieve that objective. If you guys want a signature cocktail, definitely have a signature cocktail. If you guys are not big on cocktails at all, and just have it be an open bar. Don't feel the pressure to do what is in vogue right now just because you see it all over social media.
Yeah, a big thing that I've seen is couples think we have to have this gigantic wedding cake because that's this symbol of a wedding that we've seen in movies and for so long. And if you don't want a wedding cake, there's no reason to have a wedding cake. If you love cheesecake or you love mini eclairs or whatever it is that you love, we love putting together custom dessert displays, anything that is in your mind something that a wedding must have. If you think it must have it, then great. But if it's just because you don't really care about it, but everyone thinks you're supposed to have that for a wedding, talk with any of your wedding vendors to see what other alternatives there might be that fit you better.
I think there are definitely a lot of traditions that just live on because that's the way things are done. You've got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Through all the weddings that you've done, is there any one display that you guys did or just one wedding in general that really was memorable for you?
I mean, for me, I think one of the more unique pieces that we've put together recently is we have these two beautiful gold metal shelving units, and our customers use them as escort card displays. So we arrange it with, for this particular event, we did gold rim champagne glasses, and hanging from the front of the glass was the escort card. So when you walked into the venue, you saw the arrangement, you grabbed a glass of champagne, it had your name on it, it had your table, and you had a nice little beverage to enjoy as you're walking to your table. Because we all know that dance. It's not easy to find your table all the time.
Yeah. I would say something that's just on my mind right now is the events that we're in the process of planning. So we've recently introduced micro wedding packages, and traditionally, I think our rentals have really been more geared towards larger weddings. Sometimes it's 100 people, but usually somewhere between 100 and maybe 225, something like that. And so we've seen our rentals on a large scale, but it's really exciting to see how beautiful an event can be when it's just, one table or a small backyard wedding, and still seeing how we can transform something that could have otherwise been, I don't want to say plain, but something that people are now realizing how special and how over the top they can make a smaller event. And it's really exciting to be part of that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think micro weddings, especially with the way things are going with COVID-19, are going to become a little bit more prevalent. So it's awesome that you're offering that.
Yeah, we're really excited about doing those.
So other than offering micro wedding packages, are there any other changes you guys are making to kind of cope with COVID-19?
I don't know if there's changes across the board, but obviously we're in the business of providing tabletop rentals that people eat off of and drink out of. So sanitation and safety has always been a number one priority for us, and it still is. But I think this has shown us that the relationship with the couples is so important, and it always has been to us. That's the number one aspect of what we do, is creating a relationship with our clients so they know that they can depend on us. And I think it's been more important than ever now when couples are going through so much. This has been such a stressful situation for so many people, and knowing that we're here to answer any questions that, even if they don't have firm answers yet about how they're rescheduling or when they're rescheduling to, or there's so many unknowns right now. And just for them to know that we're here and we will work with them and we'll figure it out, and their event is still going to be beautiful no matter when it is or what exactly the details look like. I think has been a huge source of comfort for them.
Yeah, I think that line of communication has been big. I know when all this started, I was like debating, do I reach out to people or do I wait for them? And I saw one of my brides like post on Instagram something like, I'm stressed about this. And I was like, you know what? I'll reach out. And everyone I've talked to has always been thankful that we opened up that dialogue so that they know, hey, you're not going to have to worry about your video. Just being there for people is huge right now.
Yeah, agreed. And flexibility is kind of the name of the game right now because none of us really know when exactly things are going to go back to normal or what even normal is going to look like anymore in the event industry. So being flexible to change based on what your client's needs are now or whenever their event may be has been huge.
So I know for you guys, you used to be based in New York City and now you're based in Philadelphia. We were talking before and you still cover New York City and Connecticut and all the same places. But what are you most excited about being based a little closer to the city of brotherly love?
We're really excited. I'm from Bethlehem originally, and we got married in Bethlehem. So it's a special place to us. And we've lived in New York for about 9 years. But coming back to the state where I'm from is like really exciting for me. I'm most excited to be able to make relationships with more vendors in this general area. We've always served Pennsylvania as part of our business. But now that we're here, it's exciting to make those new connections and work at venues that we haven't worked at before. There's a lot of newness in this and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. We started the business in New York City. We networked heavily with other wedding vendors in that area. And a lot of our upcoming weddings are still in that general vicinity, whether it's Brooklyn or Manhattan or Long Island City. We have a lot of weddings coming up in that general region. Now that we're out here, it's like it's a new pasture for us to get to know the professionals here and get to work with some exciting new venues. I mean, it's just totally different. Like the vibe in New York, there's a lot of industrial spaces. There's a lot of, kind of like fine art spaces. You see that in Philadelphia a lot. And now that we're here in the Lehigh Valley, you have more kind of like farmhouse venues or vineyard venues. And we just are really excited to add some of that to, our portfolio of weddings that we've done.
What would you say is your favorite part about what you do?
I mean, there's a lot of them. I think that getting to help couples who aren't really sure what they want or what they need and knowing that because of our experience, we can help them understand better what they need or want and actually see that come to life on their wedding day. Watching clients see their tablescapes or any of their decor design on the day of their wedding is definitely up there at the most exciting parts of our job.
Yeah, taking a client's like vision and turning it into a reality is pretty amazing. Like the positive feedback, like the like doing a job well and like getting positive feedback from the client is definitely the most rewarding part of our job.
What has been the most like amazing, rewarding reaction you've ever gotten from one of your clients?
I think that seeing someone cry when they see their overall vision come to life is like really exciting. It shows that we really moved them and that they absolutely love what we've done. And that's always a great reaction.
Yeah. Just to clarify, they were crying from joy, not from being scared. Yeah, that's definitely the most rewarding reaction. Like I said earlier, like turning a client's vision into a reality. And then once you see that vision materialize and like it moves them to the point of tears, like that's a super rewarding aspect of this job that maybe not a lot of people get in their career.
Yeah. I think it's also like that's a rewarding response from the clients themselves. But when we work with other vendors, a lot of times people are really surprised to see that when we're actually setting up tables, we break out the rulers and we do things like that precise to make sure that everything is perfect and looks perfect. And people are always amazed at that. And whenever we hear from another vendor, like a florist or anyone else who's kind of like a design oriented person, and they're like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful table I've ever seen. Like that's definitely very rewarding.
Great. Well, Nicole and Michael, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thanks for having us. We had a great time.
Thanks for having us, John. We really enjoyed it.
Again, it's Lovely Lux Rentals. All of their information is in the description below. Thank you again for watching Say Yes to the Best. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. We have new content all the time to help you with your wedding planning. Thank you and happy planning.